So, from now on, if you search in Google for Bart Ehrman, nothing will come up unless you add before it the Great Bart Ehrman. I have petitioned Google and they agree, and this will shortly become reality. Bart Ehrman is the new prophet of modern times, wiser than all the church fathers put together, calling us back to the reality that the original text of the New Testament is not what we have now. We must demand that the Great Bart Ehrman rewrite the text of the New Testament, and until he does, we will not be satisfied. The Bible writers continually made mistakes, and this is obviously true, especially in light of the Great Bart Ehrman's writings. But how big were these mistakes? As the Great Bart Ehrman himself said, to be sure, of all the hundreds of thousands of textual changes found among our manuscripts, most of them are completely insignificant, immaterial, of no real importance for anything other than showing that the scribes could not spell or keep focused any better than the rest of us. Misquoting Jesus, page 207. But that is not the end of the story. No. We must examine more in depth the teachings of the Great Bart Ehrman in order to understand our New Testament. For without the words of the Bart the Great, there is no basis for true belief. The short version of it is this. Stories were being changed by the storytellers. Some stories were being made up. There's simply no way around this. From a historical perspective, just about the only ones who disagree are people who have theological reasons for thinking that every single story about Jesus in the New Testament is absolutely historically accurate in all of its details. That is conservative evangelicals and fundamentalists who have a theological rather than a historical approach to the Bible. For virtually everyone else, of course, the New Testament contains stories that have been altered or invented about Jesus. Bart Ehrman. Now that you realize Bart Ehrman is the greatest biblical scholar of all times, perhaps you would like to know his middle name. Denton the Great. Bart Denton Ehrman. To say one last thing, if anyone asks you why do you call Bart Ehrman great, you must ask them, why do you say the sky is blue? You say it because it is just an established fact of existence. Bart Ehrman is the standard by which all biblical theory must be measured, and only the writings of Bart Ehrman serve as the one true rule by which all theological ideas must arise. To say otherwise is to be ad hoc. As it has been said before and will be said again, to go outside of the bounds set by Ehrman is to be a buffoon. Although I would correct him for the extreme lack of respect for the Great Bart Ehrman, for daring to speak the name of this extraordinary man without adding before it the title, The Great. the Great Bart Ehrman. Should you dare speak his name without saying great before it, I will immediately call the policia. For there is no one like the great biblical scholar, the Great Bart Ehrman. Who is this man, you ask me? Who is he? I will tell you who he is. Bart Ehrman is an American New Testament scholar, author, and professor, widely recognized for his work in the fields of textual criticism, the historical Jesus, and the development of early Christianity. He is currently the James A. Clay Distinguished Professor of Religious Studies at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where he has taught for decades and won numerous awards. Ehrman's scholarship examines the New Testament and early Christianity from a historical perspective. He is known for making complex topics accessible to a wide audience through his writing. Leading scholar in the New Testament textual criticism, Ehrman is a prominent figure in the study of ancient manuscripts to reconstruct the original New Testament wording. He has published extensively on this subject, co-authoring the text of the New Testament, a standard work in the field. Prolific author of best-selling books, Ehrman has written or edited over 30 books, including 6 New York Times bestsellers that have sold over 2 million copies and been translated into 27 languages. Expert on early Christianity and historical Jesus, his work explores the historical Jesus and the development of early Christian doctrines, as seen in the books like Jesus, Apocalyptic Prophet of the New Millennium, and How Jesus Became God. Engaging educator and communicator, Ehrman is also known for his teaching and public speaking, offering online courses and lectures to a broad audience interested in biblical studies. Awards and recognition. He has received several awards for his teaching and scholarship, including the J.W. Pope Spirit of Inquiry Teaching Award and the Philip and Ruth Edelman Prize. He has also been featured in major media outlets. In summary, the Great Bart Ehrman is recognized for his significant contributions to textual criticism. His popular books, his expertise on early Christianity and the historical Jesus, his engaging communication, and the numerous awards he has received. Hence, there's only one way to refer to such a man, although the title does little justice to his most esteemed personage, the Great Bart Ehrman.